Welcome to Clone Questions Live, episode 27, with me, Paul, your clone coach. I help cultivators make the best clones ever. Go to clonecoach.com if you want to learn more. We're live on Instagram every Friday, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Live on Instagram. So if you want to get your questions in, you want to join the chat, you want to join the live, you want to request to join the live on here, then hop on to my Instagram at Clone Coach, and you could do so there. To everybody joining on Instagram, welcome. Let us know where you're joining in from, everybody. Welcome to Clone Questions Live, episode 27. Let me see here. Every week we do a giveaway. You have to enter a guess between 1 and 420 for your chance to win a free copy of the 14-day quick guide from clonecoach.com, which is a nice little summary from the Best Clones Ever guide. New additions to the Best Clones Ever SOP. Not app. Let me post that there. Pin that there. Let us know where you're joining in from. We got the Bay Area. What's going on, Fresh Locker? We got the Bay Area. We got Northern Michigan Exotics. We've been having some chats, Northern Michigan Exotics, going down in the DM, right? So for all those that are wondering what it's like to be on the Clone Coach team, I hope some of the people here in the chat could share their experience with that. Like I said, I try to respond to every single message that I receive, especially if you're a part of the team, then absolutely, because we're here to get you results. When I say we, I mean me, myself, and I. But there's some new additions to the SOPs that I want to announce. Basically, now if you buy the Best Clones Ever SOP, you're going to get a free copy of the Best Mother Plants Ever SOP. That's going to be included already. And if you've noticed, if you're on the if you've purchased the Best Clones Ever SOP and not the Mother Plant SOP, you notice you received an email from me this week giving you instructions on how to gain access to the free copy of the Best Mother Plants Ever SOP, because it really starts with the mother plants. And what I've noticed is that, not everybody grabs the mother plant SOP as well. And, I'm analyzing that and I'm like, well, it really all starts with the mother plants. And if you're producing healthy mother plants, it makes the cloning so much easier. And that's kind of what is the assumption with the cloning SOP. The assumption is that you're starting with healthy green material, nice uniform growth from your mother plants. So, that assumption, I've been making that assumption, but what I'm doing now is you're getting that free full copy of the Best Mother Plants SOP when you buy the clone SOP. Along with that, the clone SOP has a new video attached to it, which is kind of an overview of the SOP, where I'm answering a lot of the common questions and feedbacks that I've received, over this last year with all the other team members. So I record another 20-minute video touching on some common questions about the SOPs, so we kind of review it together. That is included as well. There's also a new resources page that has a few additional private, exclusive, team member only access of two things: a coaching call library. So I'm in the process of uploading all the coaching calls that I have recorded with other team members into a private channel, private playlist. So all the team members have access to all of these different coaching calls, and they could review, listen to them. I'm going to try to put it on audio as well to make it easier. But basically, you have exclusive access to all the unedited raw coaching calls that I've had with other team members as a Clone Coach team member now, if you buy the Clone Coach SOP. In addition to that, I started a private Discord channel for, once again, team members only, where hopefully, ideally, the goal is to help build the community of the team members, and um, all of the questions can start to accumulate there, so that it becomes like a reference point for all team members. Other questions that have been asked, you could see the responses from myself and other team members there, versus all the DMs that I get right now. I'm trying to organize it a bit more in one place for all team members to have access to, and essentially only team members. So if you join the team, you'll have access to a new private Discord channel, private coaching call library, a new 20-minute clone coach, a new 20-minute clone SOP overview video, and the full-length best mother plants ever guide from clonecoach.com. So now that is all the new additions you get when you purchase the best clones ever SOP from clonecoach.com. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. But yeah, what do you guys think of the new additions there? The new additions to the guide. Let me catch up on the questions here. Let me catch up before I get a little bit too behind. But Mason 2X says, what's the best way to train clones after they get transplanted, yield-wise? Well, you gotta top, but you gotta have enough time for that regrowth to happen on your already topped plants, so that your nug structure is nice and solid on your plants. I mean, I'm not the flowering coach, so I'm not going to speak too much on it. If I was the flowering coach, I would tell you all about yield and all that stuff. But I don't have those exact procedures for you. I know how to train my plants to become mother stock and produce a bunch of clones per square foot. But for yield, you want to top early and make sure you get like 4 to 6 solid tops on your plant, and clean up the bottoms and really let that chunk up, give it enough space to chunk up. And genetics and environmentals and feeding and irrigation, so many other factors when it comes to trying to hit yield in your garden. We got Tulare County. Let's see here. Northern Michigan Exotic says, I'd be more than happy to share this, guys. Is more than a coach, a great guy, and he knows the clones like no other. He's very helpful and friendly. Thank you, Northern Michigan Exotics. We've been chatting along in the DMs, going back and forth. Don't forget to enter your guess, a number between 1 and 420, for your chance to win at the end of this episode a free copy of the 14-day quick guide. Enter your guesses in the chat there. See here, Hando2255 says, any SOPs with cloning racks? Yeah, absolutely. That's what my SOPs are kind of based on, is cloning racks. So I'm not sure if you had anything specific in mind, but if you're using trays and domes and racks, absolutely. The SOPs on clonecoach.com can take care of that for you. See here, let us know where you're joining in from if you're in the chat here. We got Firecore says, question, coach, 24 hours or 18 hours of light for clones? What do you prefer? It's a very simple answer, 24. For clones, I like 24. I like a consistent, predictable microclimate for these clones. 2 weeks of just kick off all the processes, and once those domes are off, that plant is already back in the vegetative state. And once it's transplanted and moving on to more intense lighting and stuff, then you could bring the light cycle back down to 18.6. But for clones, it's simple, 24 hours. Let's see here. Get your guesses in there. Let me see here. We got Virginia in the house. We got Central Valley in the house. Anybody else puffing on something out there? I think we've covered a lot in these first 27 episodes of doing these lives every weekend except for one weekend. It got skipped. Um, we've covered quite a bit, and I really think that this is kind of the summary for the 101, right? The base knowledge. Um, and I want to get into more advanced operations, more advanced, like you're doing thousands of clones, either for internal use or for external use, and you want to get more into nitty gritty, more issues that have a dollar amount tied to them. I think that'd be really good to address. So we're gonna keep building, the Clone Coach offerings. If you're not part of the team already, I highly recommend you jump on that, join the Clone Coach SOPs. Right now, unfortunately, once again, I am in between credit card processors. I had that issue a month ago. Then I found somebody. Then they just canceled me as well. So here we are again. Look, waiting to find another credit card processor because apparently, the information that I provide in my guides and my SOPs are considered high risk information for whatever reason. So credit card processors don't want to handle the Clone Coach transactions. So even as I've made that pivot from having the desire to have a physical work with the plant physically under a licensed facility and stuff, once I put those dreams to rest because of the costs out here in California, and I transitioned into this digital aspect, me thinking, hey man, this is digital, this is scalable, this is knowledge, and I could help a lot of people. I'm still getting issues with something as simple as accepting a credit card. So unfortunately, right now, uh, the main payment option is PayPal. That's still up and running. So I appreciate everybody's support and patience. If I'm working on it, just waiting on a response. Got more applications in with quote unquote high risk banks to try to get this credit card processing done, but takes time. So we'll see. But in the meantime, we got PayPal as an option. TRM 1282 says or asks, PPFD for clones about 150 at the canopy level, outside the dome, because inside the dome you're going to lose about 30 points or so. Most often than not, about 30 points you're going to lose. So if with the domes are on, your clones inside are experiencing about 120, and right outside that should be about 150. We got New Mexico in the house. I heard New Mexico's really popping off, huh? What about everybody out there in the chat? How many clones are you guys making right now? What kind of clone operation? You guys just doing a tray or two for yourselves, or are you in a commercial setting producing hundreds or thousands at a time? Are you in production facility where you're providing clones for others and doing thousands at a time, week after week? What kind of production you guys doing out there? Fresh Locker says, what do you prefer, liquid or salt for moms? I mean, it's not like I've compared the two to say, I mean, if it's a quality salt, then I don't mind having the salts. It saves a lot of packaging, big jugs, with the liquid compared to the liquid. I'm sorry. So for like the packaging and like the ease of that, I like salts. You're gonna put it into some water anyways, and you already have water, so why, you know. But have I used liquid fertilizers? Absolutely, for plenty of times. It just depends what I'm using, what I'm running, and what's available. But it's not like I look at it like, oh, my mother plants really prefer liquid fertilizer versus me making liquid fertilizer with dry fertilizer. There's not any difference there. Thanks for the question there, the fresh locker. We got another Northern Michigan in the house. Michigan's popping off. Michigan's like the new mini California. Let's see here. Tropical Run, Slurricane. What do we got here? Cherry Blockhead. Let's see. Northern Michigan Exotics is cloning 475 clones currently. Perfect. I think Northern Michigan Exotics could attest to you're rocking the 14-day quick guide if I'm not mistaken. But either way, that full SOP will really help you once you're doing that many. And Northern Michigan's about to be doing 2,000 clones. Yep, that's when you move into your production facility, right? Your commercial facility. So that is like the bread and butter. I mean, when I first started making clones, all right, the first time I ever took clones ever in my career, my life, I went out and, after dissecting a bunch of videos, I took a tray, went to a friend's house and took cuttings off of their plants and made clones. And I took 45 or 50 clones my first time. So I started with the full tray my first go around. And it's always been multiple trays at a time. Once I had, this little room as the nursery where I had 3 little 400-watt lights, a 4x2 shelf, I was making 400 to 500 clones twice a month. And that was at the beginning of my cloning career. So, commercially, we were doing multiple thousands in a day. So, day after day. So I'm used to the bigger numbers, so like when people are doing less than a tray, I could help, but it's not like I could fully relate. For me, I'm like, fill up that tray, keep cutting as many clones as possible. That's just kind of my mindset. But Fresh Locker's doing 5,000 clones a week. TRM 1282 is doing 400 plus. The Real Firehouse says commercial grower trying to get my nursery license in Oklahoma. The Real Firehouse. If you're going for a nursery license in Oklahoma, the best money you could spend, even just for training material for your staff to ensure success on a commercial scale, that's where my SOPs really, really shine. So if you're going for a nursery license and you want to bring clones to the market, that's what I did from the very get-go. That's the mindset I have, and that's the theories sprinkled throughout as far as being efficient with your production and stuff. So if you're not on the team, The Real Firehouse, I highly suggest you hop on that, clonecoach.com. Matt Concept says, I do about 500 to 1,000 every 6 to 8 weeks. See, like that's another thing that I am not fully familiar with, is having big lapses in production. For me, like once production was turned on, like the fresh vegetative growth just never really let you turn it off. You have to keep cloning off of these mother plants every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. So, not cloning mother plants for 6 to 8 weeks, you have to do a big hack back just to maintain the size and let it grow before you're going to clone it. But like those big lapses in production, not really what I'm used to, just because as a production nursery you always have to have clones available. Good Vibe Terp says, I take 5 or 6 of everything, I grow it till I get the taste test. Nice. Libra Alegria says 38 domes today. Hell yeah. So quick math, that is what, probably 1,650, 1,700 clones. Is that right? Libra Alegria, are you on the team? Have you grabbed the Clone Coach SOPs? Yeast Caregiver says, what's up, Paul? What's going on? How are you? Matt Concept says Libra Alegria. Damn, that's hella work. Good job, TRM. Throws a hands up. Yeah, 38 domes. It depends how many clones you're putting in those domes, right? Are you doing 50, 78, 25 for the plant count? I always consider everything to usually be a 50. But either way, 38 domes, that's a lot of prep. I mean, you could fit for 8, 12, 16, 20 sometimes per rack, but that's usually going to be like 2 racks, over 2 racks, 16 trays per rack per 4x2 rack. So you're on to the third one. That's quite a bit of work. It's quite a bit of work in one day, but is it possible? 100%. Can 2 people knock that out in a dedicated work day? 100%. So, those cloning days can be long days, but the reward is absolutely there. And if you're able to work hard and just strive through those, peak production days in cloning, then the rest of the in between is real light maintenance, vegetative growth, some watering, some sprays, some cleanup, and then here comes a clone day, every week or every 2 weeks. So it's a good trade-off. You could really get a lot done. Granted, those can be really long days, either on your feed or in the same motion. But that's what harvesting is. You're harvesting these clones, and you're putting them in the rooting process and kicking them off to their next section. But it's absolutely possible, man. And that's what was always when I first started doing clones, that was always something that attracted me, was the fact that the quickness, and like one day worth of work could cover you for the week or for the next 2 weeks. Like, that's a great ratio. You clone once a week, and you have hundreds of plants available to you every week, and that covers what you would gain from a salary. And for me, it was like, that makes sense to me. Let's keep doing some more of that. Let's see here. Kevin Ope says, how much of the stem do you scrape before dipping in your hormone? I don't scrape stems on a normal basis. It's usually if it's older stock, but it usually doesn't get to that point because I want to clone fresh growth, 2-week or less growth. But if it's older than that and it's like a hardier, thicker stem, then you could scrape the outer layer. But it's not like a normal practice because I'm usually cloning fresh new growth. We got the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, cannabis microcultivation. Welcome. Yeast caregiver. If you don't have Xylitol 2.0, what else would you recommend? I need to have a solid recommendation for that, or substitution, really, because as I get asked this question all the time. Look, on a hobby basic level, 3% hydrogen peroxide on a basic hobby level. On a commercial level, I believe you want to get the same chemistry. There really is no substitution chemistry-wise. So get the same chemistry, either Xylitol, or I believe Athena came out with a similar chemistry product as well. Get what's available to you. But if you're commercial, there really is no excuse to not use a commercial product. If you're on a hobby level, then, on the hobby level, it's like a hydrogen peroxide is your substitution. But if you're not hobby, you could more than likely gain access to this chemistry, to Xylitol 2.0. And on that note, at the end of probably about 3 weeks from now, I'll be joining Zach from BioSafe Systems. BioSafe Systems makes Xylitol 2.0, and we're going to be doing a little tour through a bunch of facilities in Vegas and a bunch of their clients. So if you have, you guys have a lot of Xylitol 2.0 questions, so I'll be diving into that and really have, the whole week to spend with this rep, understanding the chemistry a bit more, answering all the questions that you guys have, and seeing this stuff in action. So keep a lookout for that. In August, we'll be doing a trip out to Vegas to visit some facilities and get some content made for you guys. So if you guys haven't joined my YouTube channel, That's where I'm going to be posting all that, the longer form content, the full length content. So do yourselves a favor and go follow me, go subscribe on my YouTube channel as well. Richard and Bobby says, I just took some clippings, only 50 from the garden. Matt Concept says, I try to max out my mom potential every 6 weeks or so. Yeah, it's an interesting concept, Matt Concept, because for me, when I trim a mother plant down to the nodes, like the newest nodes, 2 weeks of undisturbed growth is like prime harvesting material for clones, for in my opinion. So you really only need 2 weeks before your cloning session for that regrowth to happen. If you're trying to max it out, I guess size wise, you're trying to cover square footage, but you could increase the plant counts and have younger plant counts, like one per square foot, that are topped and trained properly, um, so you can still maximize your clones per square foot. Because if you're getting, 12 to 18, 16, maybe even 20, no, 12, about 16, 15 to 16 clones per square foot, every 2 weeks, those are fantastic numbers. So you could, and those are all A grade clones. So, but yeah, I love to hear more about your thoughts on that. Libra Alegria says 98 clones per tray, did 38 clones. Damn, that's 3,700 clones, something like that. Libra Alegria, are you on the Clone Coach team? What I would love to see your clones, see what they're looking like. You know, hear more about that operation. Is that just for internal use? Are you providing that to the market? But yeah, see, that's like, those numbers aren't scary. I mean, but there is hard work attached to those numbers. 38 trays in a day. You got to have a rock star staff. And when I was managing nurseries, that's where I really put a lot of focus in, was creating staff that worked well together, knew what needed to be done, achieved the common goal, the common mission together, um, and just got the work done. Like, it's gonna be a long day. That's, you just help each other out, and just a bunch of rock stars just getting it done, knowing that the next day is just be a little bit easier because the big work day is gone, and you go 10 day, you go water. It's not stressful, basically. Like, you shouldn't be like surprised with your work week or your work day in a nursery, and it shouldn't be stressful. It should be a rhythm and a cadence. And if you have staff that meshes well together and has everything that they need, that was my job as a manager, giving them everything that they need to make their lives in the production as easy as possible, as efficient as possible, and take care of them. Then the work gets done, and you have a solid team to knock it out. Let's see here. Build with the G says, what are your thoughts on the organic plugs? Yeah, I have those. You could grab the organic plugs, pre-filled trays, or the loose plugs, on clonecoach.com. Go to the propagation supplies tab up top, and it'll send you to a curated list that I curated via the Growers House website. So you'll have a curated list, website page with all the products from Growers House that I recommend, and the organic plugs are on there. And my thoughts on them is that those are the ones that I've been recommending, as far as the type for someone like, Libra Alegria doing 3,800 clones. You should, in my opinion, be using the pre-filled trays, so that you just saturate your tray and plug, and there's no individual putting cubes into cells 3,800 times. You save so much time and labor, and once again, it makes the staff's life easier to just grab the tray from the case, saturate it, and plug. That's it, ready to go. You save so much time, makes life so much easier. So you can absolutely get those on my affiliate link via clonecoach.com under propagation supplies. Alan Halterman from Toledo Indoor Garden says, Toledo Indoor Garden loves Clone Coach. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate you. Fresh Locker says it's all about a good team. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. That was what was important was, creating and managing a solid nursery team. And uh, the nursery is a beautiful business once you have that. TRM 1282 says, you ever use Phison? Not really. I've seen it around. I used to see it all the time in the grows from back in the day. Um, I, I believe it's a, I don't know, but it's a I'm not sure if it's a anti viral or viroid. I don't know if it's up to that level, but it's around, and I haven't used it very often. To just to answer the question. Let's see here. B Chicano says, "Hey, the clone liquid is it going on the market compared to Athena Root Tech, the Win WN?" I'm still working on which rooting hormone, clone coach rooting hormone to bring to market. It's a process, and I got some more samples headed my way from a different manufacturer to see if that's going to be the one. But I'm trying to figure out a deal that works with a manufacturing partner, with a distribution partner. Um, to get some to bring a clone coach reading hormone, either gel or liquid, to the market. So, you know, I remind myself to be patient because I've really only been at this a year with the clone coach. I've been in the nursery space and everything else previously for plenty of years, but specifically clone coach, been at it for about a year. So, I'm trying to remind myself to be patient to, another year or so. If it takes me a year or two to bring a product to market, that's normal, right? Like that's what it is to bring something to market on a national scale or international scale. So remind myself to be patient, but I appreciate your patience too, and you'll be the first to know. Everybody on the team will be the first to know if I'm bringing stuff out or as I bring stuff out. Matt Concept says, so if you rocked 10 to 12 moms in a 3-gallon pot, how often would you take cuts from them? I feel like it takes the plants up to 45 weeks to get back to yielding a potential 50 cuts per. So you could get a mom from clone to start hitting about 50 clones. If you want 50 clones per mother plant, you're gonna go about 4 plants per light, like 2 square feet per mother plant. 30, 50, yeah, about 2 square feet per mother plant. And it'll take you from clone 90 days or less, maybe 100 days or less, about the length of a flowering cycle from clone to hit that size of a mother plant to produce 50 grade A uniform clones. There is a lot that happens during those 100 days, and that's what is covered in my Best Mother Plants Ever guide from clonecoach.com, which you'll get for free if you buy the Best Clones Ever guide from clonecoach.com. So it would take from a clone about 100 days or less to get to that size. And then once you clone it and take your 50 clones, you should have another at least 50 clones, if not 20 to 40% more stock to harvest 2 weeks later. Every 2 weeks, you should have that regrowth happening where you get the same amount, the minimum same amount, if not more clones every time you harvest. If you are not, go to clonecoach.com and do yourself a favor, and you'll be able to. Promise you. Let's see here. TRM 1282 says, have you seen the Mammoth's new cubes? Any thoughts? No major thoughts. I've seen them. But there's other comparable stuff out there. It depends on what scale you're at. I guess if you're, doing one tray at a time, it's an option for you. It is a pre-filled tray. I think they go with the deeps. I think they do the deeps, so it's like twice as deep of a cube. um, which in my opinion is, I've tried them. It's not necessary. I mean, quite honest, you don't have, unless you're gonna keep them in that cube for another week or so, then the extra media is beneficial. But if it's a normal cloning 2 rooting process, 2 week process, there's no real big need for it. Bichicano says it rooted 2 days quicker than the gel in the same process. Nice. But yeah, guys, I have all the intentions to bring a cloning product, cloning a rooting hormone to the market. It's just route A is do it all yourself and put out a bunch of money and have a lot of overhead to produce, store, distribute, purchase raw materials, packaging in bulk, logistics, all of it. And you could either do it that route or let the people that do that already shine in that section, and I could shine in my area, and we could combine forces so that they could produce and move product on shelves, and I could be the one marketing and putting my name behind it as well, and building up the brand around it to move product. So that's what I'm trying to find in a Clone Coach branded rooting hormone. Oh, this filter was falling out. But yeah, if you haven't entered your guesses in the chat, enter a guess number between 1 and 420 for your chance to win at the end of this episode a free copy of the 14-day quick guide from clonecoach.com. So enter your guesses in the chat because in about 15-20 minutes, the entries will be closed and I'll be picking a winner live here for this week's giveaway. And as a reminder for everybody that just joined, on clonecoach.com, if you buy the Best Clones Ever guide, you will also get a free copy of the Best Mother Plants Ever guide, full version for free, in addition to a private coaching call library of all the coaching calls that I have recorded. I'm uploading that for team members only for you to review, listen, watch all the other coaching calls. In addition to a private Discord channel and another 20-minute video with an overview of the SOPs, the cloning SOPs, with answering a bunch of common questions and a walkthrough. So I still got to update the description on clonecoach.com. I'll be doing that after this live, but all the back end stuff is already done. So once you place that order, you get access to everything. So, but I'll be updating that description there to let you guys know that's what's included now. So I'm really trying to beef up the offerings, but a little reminder, my credit card processing is down again. So right now, PayPal is the main option. If that doesn't work for you, just be patient. I'm trying to be patient with the credit card processing as I wait for another processor to give me a shot. Because, man, even with just the information that I have packaged up, there's still discrimination. There's still being treated as, like, as some people say, a second class citizen in regards to banking and credit card processing. Like, it's strictly information. It's a digital product. It's a video and PDF files, videos and PDF files, and coaching. Even still, that alone, processors, treat you as high risk, high risk, high risk, and higher fees, higher processing fees come along with the high risk. So, it's the life we live. Matt Concept says, love it. I'm using two 645s over a 50 square feet area. So, 5 by 10? 10 plants, big plants then. I've taken about 2 to 3 rounds so far, hoping to keep them healthy through 8 to 10 rounds. No CO2. You could absolutely keep them healthy for 8 to 10 rounds. Um, I mean, once a mother is in full production size and is getting, those stock those that harvesting them clones every 2 weeks, you could do that for about like about a dozen rounds. You want to get, from my opinion, you want to get about a dozen rounds off of production off of this mother stock before you replace it. Basically, the time that it takes to build up the next mother stock, about 100 days, that's the amount of time that your old mother stock is going to be in production. So 100 days, and the next one starts 100 days, and you have the next one's retiring, the next one comes up, that one's retiring, the next one comes up. So the rotation stays nice and easy. So, um, but yeah, man, that sounds like you're gonna get quite a bit of clones off of that. What's the I don't know if you mentioned how many clones you're taking off of that area. If you want to do 50 per plant, you're getting 500. If that's the case, 5 by 10, you should be getting a lot more, dude. You should be getting a lot more off of one 4 by 8, so slightly smaller footprint. Um, I would get on the high end 700 clones, average like five and change, easy. So you got a little bit more square footage, bigger plants. You should be able to be getting 750 at least. Matt Concept says, I need to get your SOP. Also about to become the head grower for a new facility in Grass Valley. Congratulations, Matt Concept. And here's another tip, y'all. I've had multiple cultivation jobs, licensed cultivation jobs in California. If I had the SOPs that I have created available to me then, and I could walk into a cultivation facility and with this knowledge, the amount of opportunity for you opens up tremendously. Because what I did when I was in the licensed facilities is use my knowledge and abilities to grow as an employee, grow into opportunities. When I got my first job in the license market, 2018, February or March, a couple months into 2018, when the laws changed, I joined a licensed facility. I started off by providing them with a bunch of teens to be their first initial stock of plants going into the licensed facility. And I said, hey, man, mind if I joined the team? They took me in. That was February or March. I used my knowledge to, first of all, negotiate a higher base pay per hour. If you guys want to know like detailed numbers, if you're into like salary numbers and dollars per hour, what I was making in my salary and my other jobs, like I don't think I'm ever going back to corporate cannabis, so I don't think they could stop me from saying how much I made. So I don't mind sharing. It gives you guys some perspective, But by the end of that year, by the end of the first year of joining my first licensed facility as just a grow tech, right? I was able to convince them to pursue and acquire a nursery license, allow me to take over a spare grow room, give me the budget to build it out as a nursery, and me and two other rock stars, hand chosen rock stars, us three, we created a licensed nursery in California. We produced and sold everything in that room. 3 people. We built the room. We grew the plants. We cloned them every week. We tended to all the clones every week. Thousands and thousands of clones every week. We boxed them up. We quality controlled them. We boxed them up for orders. We got there early to deliver orders. Boxed everything, stacked high, like spraying everything. And in 1,000 square feet, and I had to market the clones. So I snagged the email list from the state. I was email marketing because that's what I used to do before with moving clones, was just do email blast when I had a drop. And we got the clones sold and we we're producing revenue. I was selling a license. I sold our first licensed clone in the California market right around my birthday that year, which is in December 20th. Right at the end of the year, we had clones sold in the licensed market from starting as a grow tech. And I took that and I leveraged that. I was managing other nurseries. I was a sales rep for other nurseries. I was brokering clones for other nurseries. It led into all these other, all these other jobs and stuff, and with decent salaries and all this good stuff. But I if I had these SOPs available to me and I was out in the market trying to get a job in the licensed market or trying to get a better position, higher role in the licensed market, cultivation wise, I would 100% invest in myself in the education, grab the Clone Coach SOPs, and you just tell them, just give me 2 trays. Let's do a quick side by side. Let the results speak for themselves. And in 2 short weeks, you'll show the difference, and you could stack on top of that, and you could prove your value to your employers for extra pay, for extra opportunities within that job. So if you're working out there in the license cultivation industry, do yourself a favor, educate yourself, prove it to your employers, and use that as leverage to advance in your careers. Let's see here. Let me catch up on this chat. Matt Concept says, it's interesting hearing your information because I'm also preparing to enter the digital product space. Let's chat more about it, man. I mean, within our industry. If you want to chat more, let's do it, man. If it's interesting, we can maybe do a collab or something. Let's see here. What's a good temperature for range for vegging plants without CO2? High 70s, low 80s is a good range. Brad A85 says, is there a package for the clone and mom SOP? So yes, now automatically, if you buy the clone SOP, you get the mother plant SOP for free automatically, in addition to a bunch of other freebies and goodies and more value, more content already automatically built in. I got to update the description on the website, but on the back end, that's all set and ready to go. So if you grab the clone SOP, you'll get the mother plant SOP and a bunch more. Brad 85. Yeah, MN Root says, yeah, at Brad, yes, there is. Buy the clone SOP and the mom comes with it. Yep. But yeah, guys, I think that, I should tell my stories a bit more about working in the licensed facilities, cultivation facilities. It's interesting. For me, my type of personality, I've always had the personality and the desire of like running my own business, working for myself, working for myself. Just operating a little business. I'm always like saw that as very intriguing and interesting. I've had a bunch of little small ventures, previous to this. I've always had that kind of mindset. So I would even say to myself, am I the best type of employee? Maybe not. Maybe I'm not the best, employee because I want to be the boss. I want to be the owner. I see the opportunity. I'd rather do things for myself and gain more of the value there. Especially if the employer doesn't value you as an employee, then for me, it's even more so obvious. But I forget where where I was going with that. But yeah, I mean, working at licensed spots, there's good and bad, like with everything else. But I think those will be interesting conversations to share with people that are out there trying to do it, and hopefully they could use the information to better their experience and opportunities. But that's where I was going with it. Sorry. Do I have any intention of going back to getting a job for corporate cannabis? No, no intention to go back. I did what 4.5 years off and on working for different companies in a licensed cultivation space, and the cannabis startup job, and culture is just, you know, not where I want to be right now. And if I have the ability not to be there, fantastic. If something opens up and the opportunity is different from what I've experienced and is really there's ownership involved and stuff, then that's the conversation I want to have. But right now, I'm blessed to be able to just keep Clone Coach going, and with all of your support and help, supporting CloneCoach.com, joining the team, that is what is allowing me to continue on this particular path, helping growers all over the world versus spending all of my time focusing on one grow and maybe not getting the respect or opportunity that I would deserve or want at. And Mike died. That's why I was keeping an eye on it. This thing's kind of tight. One second. Where is it? All right. We are back on. It's on a YouTube. Apologize for that. Yeah. Well, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, corporate cannabis. It's not for everybody, but there's definitely opportunity, and I definitely think if you have the right knowledge base and you have the right desire to grow within that space, it's definitely possible. And something like the Clone Coach SOP would absolutely be an investment in your knowledge and what you could bring in and offer, a licensed cultivation facility. Matt Concept says 100%. That's why your profile stood out to me. You're operating a digital storefront related to cannabis and cultivation, and your social media doesn't have a heavy focus on cannabis terminology and media like the other pages. It's on purpose, Matt. Like, I can't really say the words or post it or anything like that. Like, highly censored still if I want any sort of traction. So that's the reality of it. But yeah, I still have a lot of room to grow in the digital space. Let's see here. All right, so everybody in here, get your guesses in now. Last minute before we pick our winner with a random number. Let me get this other microphone out of the way. That thing's dead. Technical difficulty there. Get your guesses in now because we're going to do the giveaway here shortly. This episode 27 of Clone Questions Live. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the support. If you're on here on Instagram and you don't know, go to YouTube. Go to Clone Coach on YouTube. I have the full length unedited versions. That's over here. Hosted on my YouTube channel, along with a bunch of other content that I'm putting out there. Some tours, some interviews. So 2 main places you can catch Clone Coach content: short form right here on Instagram, long form on YouTube. So if you're not if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, please do so. Mrs. Andy May says, how long do you recommend keeping a mom before retiring her? I touched on this earlier. Generally, it takes about 100 days or less to go from clone to full-size mother plant, and then I keep that mother plant in production for about another 100 days, basically the time it takes to grow the next replacement mother stock for that plant that you're going to retire. So in total, from clone to end of life, about 200 days. Is that about right? Give or take. Let's see here. Let's get your guesses in there. We're going to get the random number generator going. Number between 1 and 420. And I'm going to scroll up through the chat. So if you enter your guess after I start scrolling, it's too late. So right now is the time to get your guesses in. If you don't win this time, it's okay. Just join next week and enter to win again. All right, here we go. Get your guesses in now. Last guess is coming in. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but last guess is in now. Get your guess in now. Number between 1 and 420. Yep. Here we go. And generate. Oh, the random number this week. Let's show you. Where's the switch? 30. 30. So let me scroll up. Let me get my piece of paper. Let me get this piece of paper. It helps me keep track of potential winners. 30 is the number. Scrolling up. Let's see who got closest without going over. 44, 144, 99, 69, 84, 118, 344, 11, 193, 244, 6, 256, 321, 257, 199, 223. The random number this week is 30. Trying to find our winner. Who got closest without going over? Scrolling through the chat here. 275, 222. Nope. 187, 287. Nope. 357, 238. Let's see here. 248, 386, 259. Nope. The random number is 30 this week. 30 is a random number. 234, 307, 388, 223. 23. That's the closest so far. And that is by Truck One. Random number this week is 30. The closest so far is 23. 187. Nope. 77. 321. Nope. 333. 410. 210. 276. 285. A lot of numbers up there. 275. 285. 220, 392, 265, 23. That's a tie. So that's another 23. And Normish Matt. 142, 131. Nope. 211, 113, 333. Nope. Let's find our winners here. Random number this week is 30, 64, 300, 11, 268, 10, 91, 118. Nope. Getting to the top. That's it. We got two winners this week with the guesses of 23. Got closest to 30 without going over. That is Truck One and Norm Michigan Matt. Two winners this week. Both guessed 23. Both guessed 23. Random number this week was 30. Two winners, Truck One and Norm Michigan Matt. You're going to get a DM from me with the discount code for 100% free copy of the 14-day quick guide from clonecoach.com. Covers the 14-day dome protocol, a little one-page snippet from the full-length Best Clones Ever SOP, which comes with multiple PDF training materials, training videos, resources, and a coaching call, half-hour coaching call with me, just to go over any questions, any concerns that may come up to ensure you're getting the results. That's from clonecoach.com. I got a bunch of other resources on there, propagation supplies with a curated list of hydroponic supplies from my affiliate with Growers House. If you need plant testing services, go to MyFlora DNA, use discount code CloneCoach. If you need predatory insects, go to plantsmangroup.com. And once again, use discount code Clone Coach. What else we got out there? Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for playing. We got 2 winners this week, so congratulations to them. And we'll catch you next week on Clone Questions Live. And that should do it for me. Take it easy, guys. Have a good night.